Jedi. Ahsoka is Jedi.
Every choice made has led to this.
Everyone, welcome back to another Ahsoka-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And we are back with Tales of the Jedi. And we're doing and we're doing two parts to this. We're doing the Ahsoka episodes first, and then we'll do the Dooku episodes second, as two separate episodes. So this will be all about Ahsoka tonight.
Yeah.
And so keep tuned for that. We'll be doing, so hopefully I'll have this up sometime like on Saturday or Sunday. I'm super busy, and then we're gonna be recording Dooku stuff on Tuesday night so November 1st. So keep watch for that. I'll try to get that up and out as fast as possible because I know there's a lot of juicy stuff in this series. And Drew has not watched the Dooku stuff yet, right?
Nope, I have not.
Can't wait for that discussion. But we might as well. I got a lot to get done. Drew has a lot to get done, so we're going to jump into this really quick and get this done as fast as possible without neglecting
Without
the deep
like
discussions and emotional intrigue and stuff. But yes, so it was kind of weird that they didn't order the episodes like 3 Ahsoka and then 3 Dooku. Like you had to jump around. So episodes 1, 5, and 6 are the Ahsoka episodes, which is.
Now I don't know this. Is it due to timeline?
I would no. Some people were saying that, but
isn't Ahsoka like I don't know.
So Ahsoka. So when Plo Koon found Ahsoka, she was 3 years old, and that was 2 years before Anakin was discovered, I believe. And so, like, the Dooku stuff is like we see Qui-Gon as his Padawan. So
that wouldn't make any sense.
It wouldn't make any sense. So like it's kind of mostly like in order, but
like if they would have just had like
Ahsoka if they swapped if they did the first 2 Dooku, Ahsoka, all the first 2 Ahsoka ones, then it'll be all over the place either way. So
you're literally changed the whole thing. So no.
Yeah, so it doesn't, whatever. I don't know why they did that, but it is what it is. And so we'll go over this. We'll go through each episode individually. But so first episode, Life and Death, and this is her kind of birth / origin story in a sense. So Drew, what was your overall thoughts of Life and Death?
It was there. I don't know. Like the more and more I think about it, I'm like, everything I wanted out of that episode, I didn't get. Like in the moment, I was like, oh, I like this, I love it, and then the more and more I think about it, I'm like, I didn't really get what I wanted. I wanted Plo Koon to pick her up. Like, we literally just got her as a 1-year-old. Like, she was born, and then it was a year later, and she crawled around and almost got eaten, and her mom decided to take her on a hunt at 1. And I don't know. I have a 1-year-old. There's no way in heck I would ever take my kid out in the middle of the woods and go hunting with him because he's too loud. That
Oh,
wouldn't work. So I don't know. Like, I just wanted, besides like the grandma just saying like her is Jedi, which we already know. Like, I don't know. It was kind of just there.
well, of
For
course
me.
they're gonna say stuff we already know. Like,
Yeah, I just wanted to, like I said, I wanted to see the Plo Koon pick
right.
up. I wanted to see how they found her, not stuff we already knew. So I don't know. It didn't really. In the moment, I love the animation. I think the art is amazing. It looks sweet. But in hindsight, I kind of like, meh. That episode was kind of just
Dang.
was there. I don't know.
Dang.
Did
Okay.
it change my view of Ahsoka as a character? No.
Well,
Did
it's
it?
not.
I don't like.
It's
I'm
not
just trying
supposed
to.
to though.
No, I'm just trying to figure out what it does for me to make it better. Her character. That's all.
I don't know. I think. Well, I really liked this episode. Like, I was like super into it the whole time.
You
The
were
thing
rubbing your
is,
eye right now, and I was like,
yeah, I'm
are
crying.
you gonna say you're crying
Um,
because I get out? I don't understand why you would cry for this.
but like, it was just, I don't know. Like, I really didn't really care about like origin stories of people, but like this one was just, I felt like it was with the music and it's like the tone and like the cultural storytelling of like or the cultural like aspects of her village and stuff. Like, it was just very meaningful, and like the lesson that her mom was teaching her about like honoring life and facing death, like don't be afraid of death. I feel that because like in the next episode, practice makes perfect, Anakin directly says this is about life and death. And then so it's a continuation of her mother's teaching
Yeah.
of life and death, and like it's still, yes, it's different. Like the mom's like the value of
No,
life
I
and the
get
value of
that.
death, and
I get
then
that.
Anakin is like, well, you're saving your life and death. But like, um, I don't know. I just really thought that was a cool lesson, and how Ahsoka was strong with the Force, even as a 1-year-old, where she could stop that saber-toothed tiger, from eating her and like riding it. Like that's his,
That's true. I guess she doesn't have to be 55 as like Grogu to do that.
yeah.
I don't know.
But
Like it not that.
okay, a lot of people are hating on the Ahsoka stories.
Oh,
Like,
really? I like the other two a lot. I just think this first
well,
one kind of was just
all
not
three Ahsoka
necessary.
stories people are hating on.
I could
I
see.
I I think it's just in comparison to the Dooku stuff, because the Dooku stuff is so good.
I'm not even comparing
I
it to that
know,
because I
I
don't.
know
I
you
haven't
haven't seen
seen
it,
it.
but there's a lot of unnecessary critiques that I think are.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I liked it. I thought it was fine. Did we need it? No. Is there other part? So my thing about all three Ahsoka things, I wanted to see something, and they stopped right before we got there. And I'll explain all three of them. And
So
this
this
one,
one is Plo Koon.
Plo Koon.
Okay,
I thought
because
we would see Plo Koon come at least at the end, come and pick her up, like
right,
just anything
because it's weird,
little.
because if she's 1 and she got discovered at 3, like there's a 2-year thing. So like I wonder like how
Are
that.
they gonna do? They might do Tails again and
I don't.
keep
Well, they'll do
going.
more, but I don't think they're gonna do Ahsoka. I think they're gonna do like 2 characters at a time.
Yeah,
Um,
I
and
just think like leading up to that, maybe it's also personal hype. But leading up to this, we all were like, "We're gonna see Plo Koon pick her up. It's a baby Ahsoka," and we didn't get it. And we just
I
got
don't.
her hanging
I
out in the
don't know if I
woods.
was. I don't think I was really like when I was watching it, like I didn't even think of like Plo Koon at all. Like
Oh,
I think after the fact, I was like, oh, we didn't get Plo Koon, but like I don't even remember thinking of Plo Koon as I turned it on. Like, how are we gonna see him?
chat,
I
bring
can't
up the
even.
clip. I'm just kidding. But we definitely did when we saw the trailer. We were
Well, in
pretty
the
pumped
trailer we
for it.
might discuss it, but like
Yeah.
as I turned it on
Yeah,
Wednesday
that's
morning,
fair.
like I didn't even. I don't think I even thought about it, because I was just wanted to see what was there.
That's
But
fair. Like I said, I like that we got it. Was it necessary? No, not really. Not to me.
okay. Well,
But
let's jump into scene by scene of this episode. So starts out, Ahsoka is born, and her dad runs out of the house and was yelling like she's here, blah blah blah. Like he's super excited, which is really cool. And then, so his name is Nikhil, right? So, and then her mom's name is Pavti, which we know Shakti. So I'm wondering if the T is a common ending to a female name in the Tigruta
the one that
culture. But
shocked me.
boo! Where's Andrew and
I need a
boo?
boo button for
Boo.
myself.
Have him record a boo just so you can have that on your thing. But
Let's have someone clip that out for us, and we'll just add it as the
yeah.
soundbite.
So everyone in town seems to go to the house when Ahsoka's born, and then like the matriarch of the family of the village, Gantika, Gantika. So she's just like an old lady, and I'm assuming she's the tribe leader in a sense. So
Or the grandma.
grandma, I don't know if
For
she's
some
like,
reason, she reminded me of the grandma from Moana.
I don't remember. I saw
That's
Moana
all.
once.
Only once?
Thought it was okay,
Well, that's how I
but
felt about this episode. So
so the grandma or the Gantika comes and
the grandma, see, it's working.
meets the baby, and then Pavti gives her the name Ahsoka. Um, and so after this, it's a year later, and Pavti takes Ahsoka out on a hunting trip, which so it was interesting seeing the difference between the mother and the father, because the mother seems to be very spiritual and in tune with their traditions, and the dad is like, they're just trees, they're not our ancestors. Like I thought it was interesting that there's the two opposite ends of the spectrum, um, from her parents. And I wonder if, like, thinking about it, like if that's evident in Ahsoka, I would
Her.
have to go rewatch all of Star Wars to see Ahsoka. Like she's kind of has sides where sometimes she's over spiritual and over time she's like very practical and like
I
scientific in a sense. Like
honestly, I think that is supposed to represent how she is with the Jedi. Like she's middle grounded. She's not a Yoda where it's like everything is like, she has to be like perfect. The Force, the Jedi Order is perfect. You know what I mean? Like a Yoda, and then she's not like Dooku, who left. She's like the middle,
right,
and I wonder if that is supposed to represent that with her parents. Like her mom's very traditional, very like this is the way we do it, and then her dad's like, just leave her home because I just care about the safety of my child, and I'll just keep working on this, and you can go
right,
hunt, kind of thing.
cool.
And I think a lot of parents are like that. Granted, you would have thought it would have been the opposite. Like the dad would have been the one taking their kid in the woods, but I think it's their culture is that
Well, I think
it kind of feels like it's their culture that
no, because
they go hunt.
when the rescue team went out, I think that was mostly all guys. So like they all grabbed their gun and went out. So I think everyone, it's just everyone hunts. I
Yeah,
think
probably.
everyone
I was
hunts.
thinking it was like for some reason I was like thinking like a lion.
Well, I think it's
You know
they're
what I
kind
mean? Like
of
the lioness goes hunt. The guy
right.
just goes and eats.
Well, I was thinking
But then
more.
when real trouble comes, then the guy will actually show up, kind of thing.
Well, I was thinking it's more of they're kind of paralleling more like Native American cultures or like more tribal
I did get
cultures
that
where
feel a lot
where
too.
there's that respect for life. Like when
Yes, 100%. This
you
is very
like that's more of a cultural thing where everyone in that culture like believes the same thing about nature and life and death. And because like her mom was like, you honor life, and when they went hunting, it's like you don't take more than you need.
yep.
And so I think that's just a cultural thing. Like the mom didn't just come up with that, like, or the women, like that's just a cultural thing. And so I think I would have to go back when the rescue team goes out, but like I'm sure there's a bunch of guys, maybe there's probably girls too. Like I would have to look at. I have to go back and like watch like their skin colors, like 'cause it seems like the men had their own variants of skin colors, and the women had their
The
skin
men had
color.
their own thing going on, and
So like Togruta differences because we've seen more Togrutas in Clone Wars, but I don't never really paid attention to like the gender differences and physical appearance.
mhm.
Um, but I think they're all
Her
the
dad's like purple, like straight up.
straight purple, and then he had like a yellow, like then he have like a yellow thing on. So I was like, he's like a Vikings fan or something.
He was a
um,
Vikings fan.
but yeah. So anyway, we're kind of rambling, but
Yeah.
when her mom was walking out like through the village to go into the woods, like she has the hood on and like her rifle sticking out. And I was like, that totally reminded me of Ahsoka at the end of Rebels when she has a hood on and that like staff. I don't know.
Mm.
Her walking, I was like, kind of looks like Ahsoka in
So
Rebels.
also I pulled it up and the it's like the whole village armed up. It's
Yep.
like a mixture of all of them. So it's not just the guys.
Everybody's a hunter in that
Yeah.
village.
It feels like that. But this girl
But
has a dress on. Honey, I don't know what you're gonna be doing with the dress on, but I guess go hunt that lion.
she have a dress on, or is it just her like a cloak over her?
No, the girl that like armed up,
Oh,
she has like a full on skirt on. It's like, all right, do your
you're
thing.
more flexible with a dress on. Like you
True,
don't
actually. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
can
I
run
need to wear
faster
more
with.
dresses to figure it out.
Yep. I don't think Stephanie's attire fits you though.
No.
um, but yeah, so they go out into the woods, and it's just really like the animation in this whole series is the best. It's better than season 7 of Clone Wars,
Yeah.
and like so this is something I noticed on my brand spanking new 4K TV that I've never seen in Star Wars before, or in Clone Wars, I should
Ooh,
say.
okay.
But like so like the animation style of Clone Wars and Bad Batch is it mimics paintbrush textures. Like we're like everything like walls and
Yeah.
clothes and skin, like there's like a paintbrush look to it.
Uh-huh.
Like and when I was watching this first
It's
episode, it's super paintbrush. Like the textures like
yeah.
on their skin, like it's
I was
ridges,
gonna
like or
say
like ridges and
that was my
spots.
one thing that it's actually more. I don't think it's your 4K, bro. It's just way more highlighted and obvious.
Well, I think
In
just because they're able to do that now. Because before
yeah,
it was
yeah,
their paintbrush was just flat, but now
yeah.
that they have
Now
better
it
technology,
correct.
like the paintbrush textures are more visible. Like
Yeah.
like when if you're painting with, I guess, painting a wall and like there's like hair or dirt or something gets you see like the
Like you can
textures.
see all the paintbrush on like the gun and stuff. Yeah, it's more visible now, which I've noticed a lot of people are actually complaining about that. It
Really?
kind of people are saying it takes them out of it because
Who's
they're
saying
like
that?
just people online were complaining about it. Like the
People.
old lady's hair and stuff. It's like her hair. Like for people who are saying that her hair looks like wood just on her because of the so much texture of the paintbrush.
Whatever. People need to get over it.
I mean, yeah.
I think it looked amazing. I really, really
I liked it. I thought it
liked
was
it.
amazing. I think it is the best that we've seen.
Yeah. And so going through the woods, giving Ahsoka the lesson about honor life, like embrace it, but don't fear death.
Mm-hmm.
And so then there's like these like weird like pod things that you hit them in like the dandelion like
Like the
fuzzy
dandelion. They're
things.
just giant dandelions,
Yeah, that
essentially.
puffs up and stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. And then they hear like an animal in the field and they go hunting. So that thing is like a half goat, half kangaroo,
Yeah.
something
A
or other,
kinga goat.
uh, something like that.
I think they actually do say the name though.
Do they?
Yeah. I
But
don't remember if she says it.
but
But
so that was so there's three of them there. You see her shoot, and then you see like two run away, and so obviously no one's hit. And so when you hear the gunshot and like the old lady in the village, she like something you see multiple times in this episode is like they recite some sort of mantra or whatever about life and death or something. And so I don't know, there was no subtitles for it. It was just Tigruti language is what it said in parentheses.
yeah.
So I don't know what it said, but it was something like head, mouth, heart is like kind of like what they
It's like their version of like
Father, Son, Holy Spirit
yeah.
thing.
That's
I
what
don't know, but
but I was like, oh, they're Catholic.
it's something about something in your mind, something in your mouth, something in your heart. Like it's part of like life or something. And so, um, they go to the animal, which has not died yet. It's just kind of like suffering a little bit, and like Ahsoka sees it and is very uncomfortable. And it's interesting that at that age, like that she would notice, but it's because she's force sensitive that she can feel something in the animal. Because if you're a 1-year-old, like if your son, you went hunting with Miles and you shot a deer and it was there, like Miles would be looking at it, but like wouldn't like be sad, right?
No, Miles would be freaking out. Like he'd he'd be scared.
He'd
Like
be
yesterday,
scared.
I think so, dude. I don't know. So yesterday we went to like a Halloween party and we took him. It was like appropriate, if you guys are wondering. But his uncle wore a blow up costume of Patrick Star from SpongeBob, and Miles saw it, was like shaking and like hiding and super scared of him because he was so like puffy and giant and different. So I feel like Miles, I brought him to like an animal that's like wheezing. I feel like Miles would be like, "What the heck is going on? What are we doing?" And the noise too of the gun. The kid need earmuffs. Like that's too loud.
Okay, but
Oh, and the thing is called a Krugs Bucks Barracks Krugsbix. I don't know.
where are you reading that?
It's a she says it like right after she stabs it in his chest.
Okay. So her mom forces her to look at the animal because it's face death, don't fear it. And so you can see Ahsoka staring and kind of like feeling and connecting. So she's connecting with this animal in a deeper way than her mother is, just because she's force sensitive, I think. And so
Yeah.
Ahsoka is very emotional. But as this is happening, the giant saber-toothed tiger thing is approaching, creeping in. And so when the mom turns around and sees it, like I really like the scene when the mom screams and yells, like this, like roars at it to try and scare it away.
Yeah.
I thought that was just really good. I don't know why. Some people probably think it's funny, but I'm like, this mom is trying to protect her child, and this is the
Oh yeah.
best thing she can do. And I thought it was really
Kind of
well
like what
done.
they say to do to bears.
Yeah, because she raised up her arms, look bigger, and
Yeah.
then yelled. And at first, the tiger was like, "Whoa, like what? Huh? I wasn't expecting this." But then,
Yeah, and then
then he goes crazy.
got
But
one.
oh, I should mention the voice actor for Pav T. It is the same lady from that did Iden Versio, the chick from Battlefront 2, the campaign.
Oh, really?
So it's the same actress. So
Nice. That's cool.
multiple. She does I think there's something else in like another show, Star Wars show or something she voiced in or something. She's done multiple characters in Star Wars, so that's her, Pav T. So that's cool.
You know what? I just realized this is the first cartoon that Ashley did not voice of Ahsoka,
True.
unless she did the baby voice.
They definitely copied and pasted Grogu's cooing, which
Oh yeah, at some point I'm like,
I was like, I hate Grogu so much now, and they're putting
bro,
same voice. Like,
chill.
give her a different tone, or at least like
Record Miles.
yeah, or I'll be like, man, Ashley's doing
If
a really
that's your
good
kid, right? Like
Ashley's
my
doing a
kid's in
good
Star
job.
Wars. This is my kid plays Ahsoka.
That'd be cool. But yes, so the mom tries to grab the rifle and whatnot. Doesn't really work too well. And she's trying to like fight him off with a knife. And I thought it was really cool. She's very agile, really good fighter. Like It's not her first day out in the woods.
It's not her first rodeo for sure.
So she's trying to fight him off with a knife, and then she is able to shoot because
she shot it twice, and then
because like he looked and turned to Ahsoka and was going after Ahsoka, and she shot him multiple times, right?
Yep, twice
and then
on the shoulder.
And then the village hears the multiple shots going off, and they all grab their guns and run out there. And then Mom's still fighting off, blah blah blah, the best she can. And then as the tiger goes for Ahsoka again, the village arrives and scares them off. And then the tiger picks up Ahsoka nicely and steals her. Like, I thought that was kind of weird. Like, was that his intent the whole time?
No.
Or why did he choose to nicely take her? Why didn't he just like grab her like anyway, like bite her? I don't know. But so
also, what bothered me, this is something else that bothered me, besides the grabbing the child softly. I mean, it's a cartoon at the end of the day. What bothered me is the dad held the mom back from chasing after that thing.
Well, because she wasn't going to be able to catch up anyway.
I don't know. I do not care if something grabs Miles and runs off in the middle of the woods. I'm going to be chasing that thing until I can't chase that thing anymore. I'm not going to pull Stephanie back like, it's okay. We won't ever find it again. Like, what do you mean?
He ran into the wood. Like, you don't know what's in there. It could be the rest of his, like, more tigers.
I do not care. Jeremiah, it's something that you don't understand.
But the thing is, like,
it's about being the parent. It's stupid. That part bothers me. I'm like, dude, if that was my kid, I would run into the woods. What are you gonna do? It's not gonna come back.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? There's nothing you can do. Chasing
You're gonna
after
chase it until you can't chase it no more physically.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, it didn't make any sense.
It makes perfect sense to me.
You're gonna get hurt. What do you mean? I have my kid.
Well, yeah, but if it's gonna eat your kid, there's nothing you can do by chasing it.
Then it's gonna eat me too.
And if it's not gonna eat your kid, then you got to go as a team to like find it.
They're already there.
No, they couldn't track him.
They could have.
They tried tracking and they couldn't find him.
Yeah, but they stopped midway and hugged.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree on this one.
It didn't make any sense. I was just like,
so
let her chase it.
So the tiger brings Ahsoka back to his, I'm gonna say lair, but it's not a lair, like a hole, like a ditch, a dark ditch or whatever. Yeah. And she's apparently allergic to cats because she sneezes. So, like, speaking of cats, what about, we didn't talk about those panda dog cat things running around the village.
Panda wolf cats or whatever.
Yeah, those things were cool. Like,
yeah, I wanted one of those.
Like, yeah, come on, Disney, if you're listening, make some stuffed animals of those. Like that, they
will, for sure. This whole thing, they're gonna make us stuffed animal on the thing that kidnapped Ahsoka.
Didn't someone ask us in a voicemail recently? Like,
it was like last week. What
I literally
Yeah, I want
I
that
want
one.
that thing. That
Whatever this one is,
panda dog
the
thing.
panda cat, I want that thing.
And
It
what was
looked
the
cool.
grandma feeding them? Like that Mantel mix stuff, like popcorn or something?
Yeah,
Like
popcorn. No.
I want that thing. That thing's
The
really
same
cool.
thing that your boy's eating in Andor.
The
Cereal.
cereal, eating cereal. Yeah. Yeah. So Ahsoka sneezes, makes the tiger mad, so the tiger starts licking his lips. Classic cartoon where when you eat, you gotta lick your lips. So he's about to eat her, and she puts her hand up on the nose, and he
Blocks him.
They connect through the force, and he calms down, even though he does roar at her afterwards. But
yeah, honestly, Jeremiah, the more and more I look at this, the more and more I don't like this episode.
why? What's wrong now?
Well, okay, first of all, you're gonna bring the baby into the middle of the woods, not eat it. You could have ate it like 4 times already. Not eat it, and then as soon as the kid sneezes, you're like, "Oh yeah, I forgot I could eat this thing." And now I'm gonna try to eat it, and then someone's gonna touch it. It's gonna roar, and then I don't know,
You're just a hater. So anyway,
kind of.
it's back at the village at night that evening, assumingly, and a scout team comes back like we can't find anything. There's no tracking we could have done. So they're all like, what are we supposed to do? Blah, blah, blah. And then you hear the
Wrestling in the woods.
well, I have it in my notes, so I forgot. So when Ahsoka is touching the tiger, like she's facing death.
Yeah.
Like just like her mom said. So she's like embracing the life and facing death at the same time in that moment. And I thought that was really
true.
cool.
That's true. That's good.
And so back at the village, the scouts come back and they're like, we don't know what to do. And so they're waiting, and then you see a silhouette, silhouette. Did he roar coming into town before?
I'm
Like that's
watching
what
it
made
right
everybody.
now. No,
I think
he just makes noise
because they made
like,
a noise that caused them to everyone to turn and look.
I don't think it made like it didn't personally make one. It just started moving really loud in the woods.
Right, and so the villagers are all raised their gun about to shoot, but then the grandma tells them to stop.
Oh no, it did roar. It growled.
And so then they see Ahsoka riding it in, and which is really cool. And he crouches down, Pop-T grabs her. They kind of lock eyes and look at each other, and then the tiger leaves.
No, the mom says something in their language.
Oh, it does that same mantra thing or whatever to honor. I really was hoping that the mom was gonna
say it in English,
pet it or something, touch its nose just like Ahsoka did or something, or that the tiger was gonna bow its head just kind of to her, acknowledge her or something like that, but it didn't. That's fine. But then this episode ends with the mother and father be like, how is this possible? And the grandma says, Jedi. Ahsoka is Jedi. And that's how it ends. And I thought it was really cool. Yeah. Ahsoka's origin story. So any more hateful comments about this episode before we move on?
No.
All right. Well, before we move on to this next episode, let's listen to some breaking news from Lucy.
Hey everyone, Lucy here from Wild Space Channel 66, and I'm pleased to tell you that we've received a distress signal. Well, that part's not pleasant, but what is great is that you can help. According to this group of individuals, a Star Wars audio drama was created by Empire Radio listeners sending in voicemails. It's all original, it's all entertaining, and it's all audio and no visuals. That's where you come in. They need you listeners to send in your own art to illustrate these voicemails. You don't need to be super experienced, and you choose the medium. Some examples include Lego, digital art, painting, and black melon sculptures? That's a new one. Anyways, the process is super easy. Just look in the description for a link that will take you straight to a Google Doc. Inside, you will find clear and helpful instructions on how to submit your art. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Awesome. Yes, if you're an artist, please help us out. It would be worth it. The story is amazing, but we need illustration, so check it out. Link is in the description. All right. So, next episode, episode 5, technically in the order, practice makes perfect. So, Drew, what were your overall thoughts of this episode?
I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I just wish we were able to see the end of that scene. The end of it.
No, that's stupid. That'd be so stupid.
Why?
Because you can see it. It's already there. You go watch the rest of Clone Wars. Like,
Not that part.
what do you mean?
Because isn't that the cut where we don't see Ahsoka and Rex leave that part?
Yeah, the whole hangar battle.
Oh, that's that. Okay, never mind.
What do you think it was?
I thought it was like after that too, for some reason. I don't know why.
No, that's the
Okay,
hangar
never mind.
scene.
Okay, I liked it then.
Ah, gosh,
I don't think-
Drew.
No, my only complaint is the name is stupid.
Why?
It's such a common like.
But that's
If I'm being super nitpicky, it's like the
life
most,
and death isn't.
It is too.
That's like
but
one of the
I
most
let that
common phrases in
slide.
all of human history.
I let
Life and
that
death.
one
life and
slide a
death.
little bit because the episode kind of itself had a lot of other issues with it. But I just thought, I mean, come up with a better name. Just call it practice or something. I don't know.
Practice? Talk about practice. But
Yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
so
I kind of wish this part was longer than the last episode, but it was really short. It was like, what, 12 minutes?
this was the shortest one, I believe. So it's like 10, 12 minutes. So the thing is, like, we knew that this was what one of the episodes was going to be about.
Mm-hmm.
And like it is what it is. Like, okay, there's practicing for the Order 66 scene. And so, like,
You literally could just say what the whole episode was in like 3 sentences.
right.
Like,
And
you
so,
don't have to explain it all.
right. So,
I
don't
mean,
know.
the cool thing is we get Kaden in it.
Kanan Jarrus, yes.
Yeah.
But like the whole thing is like what I don't like. So this of all the 6 episodes, this is probably my least favorite episode.
Okay.
Just because it didn't like do anything that we weren't expecting already, and the whole practice scene was her being surrounded by clones protecting herself. And the scene where she actually does that exact thing is right when Order 66 starts, but they only show us like the final battle after all that. And so like it's not the same her being surrounded. It's just her like being faced them in front of her. Like it wasn't the same practice thing. Like yes it is like practice, like she's obviously surrounded by all these, or she's never surrounded by the clones in that final battle. They're always in front of her or to the side of her or something. And so like it wasn't as congruent as I thought it was going to be. Now I still really like it that Anakin prepared her for this. Like if it wasn't for this, she would have died instantly probably.
Yeah.
Because the whole point is Anakin trained her to do something that the Jedi Order wouldn't train her to do. And so, and the one thing I wish they would have done, like as you said, they should have made it longer. What they could have done to make it longer, or they could have just tweaked when she's training on the starship scene. They should have had some of the helmets with the Ahsoka helmet. Like she's practicing one last time.
Oh, that would have been cool.
On her way to Mandalore.
Right before she went to Mandalore. That would have been sick.
That would have been better if they added that or changed that scene.
The thing I like about it is the visual growth of Ahsoka.
Yes. So she
Like,
does.
you see her like the beginning of her as a Jedi, and then you see the mid range of her, and then you see the final of the Clone Wars Ahsoka. I enjoyed that part. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. So this was. I wonder how early into the Clone Wars, because the first, I guess, Ahsoka becomes Anakin's Padawan.
In the movie, right?
Well, in the movie, but the movie takes place like 3 or 4 episodes into
Mm-hmm.
season 1, or chronologically 3 or 4 episodes in. So like I wonder like how long after they're put together that this happens, because Anakin in this episode is not caring about Ahsoka, as like he's late to the session. He's just kind of like, okay, you don't care, I don't care, like
Well, because
you
he
don't
was
want
probably
my
having
opinion.
a conversation with someone. That's why
No.
he was late.
And so he just was not emotionally connected to her yet, like he grows to
No,
be.
for sure. It was very early on.
And so it was kind of weird seeing that part of like Anakin not caring about Ahsoka. But it's not until they have a little fight that he's like, "Fine, you want me to show you how to do this done? Fine, I'll show you how it's done." And then you
We got to
see
see
it,
Plo Koon in the first scene too, which was kind of cool.
yeah. And so as the episode goes on, you see Anakin getting more concerned for her, especially when it goes to that ship scene. Like he's off in the distance, smiling, like she's doing good, like she's getting better and better. Like he was proud of her. So, but let's go scene by scene. Um, like we said, Anakin was running to this training session with Ahsoka, and he was late. And so she's in there with some remote. What are they? What's the
Remote training droids.
remote training droids? And so
The same ones that
Luke
Luke
used.
used.
Yeah. So she's in like a training session, and so in that room you have Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, Mace Windu, Plo Koon, Sanube, and then Kanan and his master Balaba, or whatever her name is. And so they're watching, and we have episode 2 Obi-Wan with his mullet, and his beard was like Clone Wars beard for him is like really blocky, like very stylized blocky, and this one was actually looked like
super smooth,
like an actual beard.
We got to see what's her name? Lightsaber. What?
Huh?
You just said her name. The girl who's training her. What?
Who?
The old person. Maybe that's a guy.
Who are you
Whoever
talking
is
about?
training Ahsoka right now.
Oh, Sanube?
Sanube, yeah, we get to see their
Him.
lightsaber.
Him. Well, we see his
Lightsaber.
saber in Clone Wars.
Do we? I didn't realize it. I forgot that it was his cane. And he came out. Yeah,
so
it was pretty cool.
He whips it out at the end of that few episodes that he was in when it's him and Ahsoka.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like he disarms the guy, and then I think when Anakin confronts Barriss and they duel each other, Sanube is training the younglings that went on the saber arc.
Yep,
like he takes out his saber to like protect the kids if that would go in their direction. Mm-hmm. He has a white blade, right?
Nope, blue.
Blue?
Well,
I thought it was white.
It's blue right now in this, but it could be through the shield. It's kind of hard to tell.
I think it's actually white. He has a white saber. I would have to double check, but
it's blue right now. But I think it's blue.
Oh, maybe he has another one. I don't know. He's kind of old. He misplaces his kyber crystal once in a while. He has to get a new one.
He loses his cane.
But yeah, so Ahsoka, she's being trained, and Obi-Wan is like, she's a fast learner. Like, man, she's really good, and she was like doing really good. And then they bring, okay, let's up the ante a little bit, and they have new remotes, battle remotes, and they're like 2 dual blasters. So I think it's 4 shots maybe
Yep.
that could do. And there's 4 of them. And not only are there that, she's in a force field that's getting smaller and smaller around her.
Yep. She's playing Fortnite.
And she does really well in that. And she only has the 1 saber at that moment. And so
Yep.
she just was really good. And so everyone was impressed except for Anakin. And
Is he
Anakin,
jealous?
no, because Anakin's like, this isn't even real life. Like, this is like, you're supposed to simulate battle droids. And so,
Which they did, but wasn't good enough.
but so Anakin, like, well, it's like, you don't want to know what I think about this. And he walks out, and then Ahsoka runs after, and they kind of have a little argument, like, what do you want me to do? Just tell me, like, I'll do it. Like, fine, you want real training, and then I'll give you real training. And so, and I really liked how they had an argument, and they step away, but then Obi-Wan and Yoda stand there looking at them, like, what did we do? Did we screw this up? Because this was Yoda's idea to put them 2 together, and you know, Anakin was Obi-Wan's Padawan just probably a couple months before. And so they're looking at each other like, oh crap, hopefully they don't screw this up type of thing. But they go to the military complex thing, which I think it looked like where the prison was, that we kind of discussed that in the trailer, where Ahsoka was held prisoner and then escapes. I think it's that same facility. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't really. It kind of almost looks like a hangar, kind of like.
Yeah. So Ahsoka arrives and she's late. Blah blah blah, and he's like, "All right, the 501st, they're here. They're gonna help, with this exercise, and we're gonna teach you like." Battle droids are one thing, but they're predictable. But I want you to be prepared for anything that could be thrown at you. So if you can pass this test, you'll be good. Blah blah blah. And so he's like, you should be able to sense the first person who's going to pull the trigger before it happens. Like, you can feel that movement in the force, like that's going to happen. And just anticipate every shot. And so she does like a few shot, like blocks a few, and then gets stunned. And she was stunned for an hour.
Yep.
And I thought it was really funny how, like, yeah, Jesse got you really bad. And he was like, sorry, Commander. Like, it was just a funny moment, but also Jesse's the one that's leading the charge to kill her after Order 66.
Yep.
And so I was just like, dang it, man. And so over and over again, they're trying over. It's like a montage of her just getting stunned over and over again. And she's like, she's getting frustrated with it, but Anakin's like, this is a matter of life and death, which is last episode's title, which I was like, okay, that's cool that they're continuing that. And then he's like, the best way I can protect you is to teach you how to protect yourself, which we heard in the trailer, but it is a true statement. Like, you don't want to have her be dependent on someone else. Like, she has to be able to defend herself. So she, like, when he gives her that pep talk, it clicks in her mind why this is happening, and she's like, agrees to it now. Some people were saying that this was child abuse and unethical. I was like,
she's a Jedi. What the
I'm
heck?
like,
that's literally people's complaints.
That there's a lot of nonsensical complaints about this show. People just need to like get over.
Dude, she's literally a Jedi.
Right. And I'm like,
she's going into war.
Right.
Like, she's been in war already before. Okay. People need to chill.
And like,
also,
and
it's
the thing
not
is,
a real character too.
But they're like, and I'm thinking like, if Anakin did not teach her this, she would have died in Order 66 or long before that. Who knows? Like, I don't know. Like, so like she would have. This is like a good thing that Anakin did this. Whether it's abusive or not, like, I'm not saying it's good to abuse children. Like, don't think I'm saying abuse is okay. It's not. But like, it was training. Like, it's just life. Like he says, this is life and death.
Will in the chat was like, yeah, like there's other things in Clone Wars. Like, did they not? They clearly did not watch the show. It's like,
there's a lot worse things that happen in Clone Wars. Definitely.
And it's also one, she's an alien. Like I'm not getting.
Are you
into
saying
it.
you have more compassion for humans than
No.
you do aliens?
I'm saying that it's not a real person, and like is there a thing is like one day like some parent is gonna get the idea to shoot their kid with a stun gun over and over again, and to train them with their lightsaber. Like this is so it's
Okay.
she's a
Well,
Jedi. At the end of the day,
let's
she's a
move
Jedi.
on. So
I think the real abuse was that her mom took her in the middle of the woods to go hunting at
okay,
1 years old.
okay.
That's a little bit more.
But at the end of the day, it worked out just fine for both stories. So
Yeah.
yeah. So then
Now, did she
montage.
get a lot of concussions through this? Probably. That was my only
No,
thing. I
I
was
think
like, this girl getting
it's advanced technology. It doesn't
it
cause any
catches her a
harm.
little bit. Oh, okay.
It doesn't harm you.
There's
past-
concussion Tylenol.
Unless
now.
unless she hits her head when she falls, I think she's 100% fine.
It looked like she did.
I
She
don't know.
kept coming up with rubbing her head.
Yeah, but she has her head thing, head tails like that. That's like those are soft, like that's like a pillow. Like, but anyway, she gets stunned again in the first session, and then it flashes to the starship. I want to call it a starship, but you're not calling it this Jedi cruiser. I think that's what it technically was. Where man, like she wakes up again from a stun, but it was a 5-minute long test, and she's like, Rex is like, you're getting better and better, and so all right, let's do it again. And then she does really well. She has 2 sabers now, and she's doing flips and spins, and I was like, this is really cool, awesome.
Which is clearly like one of the reasons why she got 2 sabers is
Yeah, I don't think we ever got an explanation of why she got a second saber.
no, because I'm pretty sure in the Clone Wars she just like one season had 2 sabers all of a sudden.
Yeah. So
There
maybe
was this might be the reason.
I thought it would have been cool, like you said, to make the episode longer, where she asks, like, "Can I be trained with 2 sabers?" Like it was her idea, like,
or maybe mid training she's getting hit and she's like about to get hit and she grabs Anakin's other saber
that'd
and
be
blocks it, and then just starts using 2, and then now she has 2.
That would have been cool. Like they could have
That
added
would have
that.
been sweet.
Because that was like a missing thing that we never got.
Yeah, because that would have been so cool if that's how she got it. It was like she's about to get hit, and like she sees it coming, she grabs Anakin's saber off his hilt, and then she just starts going ham with 2. Disney, make it happen.
Right now, Powerball is at $825 million.
Ooh.
So if I win, I'll redo this episode and we'll make it how I want it.
Cool. Redo the cat one too, so Plo Koon picks her up.
We'll do that too. Or we'll do the whole episode on that. But yes. So, but then as she's practicing, she's doing really well. But then Rex comes with his dual pistols and stuns her. Like, okay, that was pretty quick. And then when she falls, screen goes to black, and when it fades in, it's Rex and her walking to the hangar in the finale of Clone Wars, and he's like, "I hope your training paid off." And they open up the door, and it's him bringing her into the hangar. Now, here's the thing: this scene of them seeing all the clones that are waiting for them, they definitely added way more clones than was
for real. I was gonna ask you that. I'm like, I don't remember this many clones
because in the finale,
also Rex looks skinnier.
Clone Wars finale, they're like lined up and they're like in a grid system, and you can see the specific lines, if I remember correctly. And here they're just like, it seems like they're just in like a pile of clones just ready to go. So there's like 3 times as many clones in this scene, but
I'm gonna go pull it up.
But that's fine.
That's
how the episode ends, and so that's it. So like it's cool, like it adds to the story, but it didn't add anything more than what we concluded in the trailer. So it was kind of like, okay, whatever. So, but it is the shortest one of the whole series, so it's not supposed to be necessarily the best one, but I enjoyed it, but it was still my least favorite. Any other thoughts, Drew?
No. I thought it was I liked it. Yeah, they're way less.
Yeah.
Clones in this.
Now here's the thing. she's getting stunned all these times. You know, it would have helped her wake up and be a little bit more alert after she gets stunned. Coffee, yeah, or tea.
True.
So let's listen to a commercial from our sponsor today, Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code EMPIRERADIO, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it. All right. So that's the first two episodes. Now we got one last episode to discuss, episode 6, which was the final episode of the season of the season 1 of Tales of the Jedi, and it is called Resolve. Now, here's the thing about this episode. It completely retcons the Ahsoka novel.
I was gonna ask you if it did.
So here's the thing. It's literally the same story, but it's just retold. Like
faster pace.
Well, it's so like she goes to this farming planet, like so in the book, farming planet to hide. She builds friends and communities there. The Empire comes, and the Inquisitors come and burn the town down, and she goes and confronts the Inquisitor there and defeats him. And then she joins the rebellion when she talks to Bail Organa. Like, that's the story of the Ahsoka novel. And then this is basically the same thing. She's on like a farming planet, and she's discovered as a Jedi. The Inquisitor comes, burns the village, and she fights without a saber like she did in the other one, and then defeats him and then joins the rebellion. So it's the same story, but it's just a different story that's the same thing. So it's kind of weird that
they also retconned it already, because even like parts of that mess up with like season 7.
Well, that was just minor stuff with how they captured Maul. Like, that's very minor things. Like, it's fine.
I wonder if they're gonna come out that the Ahsoka novel is not canon anymore.
Well, here's the thing. We know that shows and movies have canon authority over books and comics. So
there you go.
This is
not canon.
So this is technically the official canon now of how Ahsoka joined the rebellion. But like, I really
want a full breakdown of the Ahsoka novel. We already did that, so go check that out.
That was back like
now it's not canon, so don't read it yourself. I'm just kidding.
Read it. Like, it's
just fun. It's small. It doesn't take too long.
So like, it's weird that they would blatantly retcon an entire book. Like, it's not like they took the final scene and just like told it like as an illustration of the scene in the book. This is just a complete retcon of the book and just retold the same story. Yeah. And so I thought
I still really get the funeral stuff in the book.
Right, we didn't get the funeral stuff, but I really liked this episode. I thought this was my favorite of the 3 Ahsoka ones, probably
100%.
I think just the fire animation was the best fire animation I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's better than like a live action show or movie, like fire. So like, this was really good. The funeral
scene in the beginning was like, I don't know, it was so intense.
Yeah, it was very emotional, and then the final fight was great, and the music with that was so great.
Mhm.
So I really liked the story, even though it retconned an entire book.
Yeah. So is
um,
that people's complaints about this one? Is that a retcon the book?
People were complaining about that too. Yeah, like people are trying to say that it's just an illustration of that final fight, but it's not. Like it all went down completely different. So
This is a fast version.
right, and so like when looking at Ahsoka's entire story, like the story is still the same, but it's this story, not the book story, which is kind of weird the way of thinking at it. It's
Mhm.
like saying a yard is like something is 1
She did
yard,
have the
or
same name too.
Ashla, yes, which
Yeah.
is that's a code name. So it's just like saying something is a yard, 3 feet, or 36 inches. Like the so it's like the same thing but just different. So,
Yeah. It works. It's
but what was
fine.
your thoughts of the episode?
I liked it. I loved it. I liked it better than I loved this stuff in the beginning. I
Yeah,
guess the only thing that kind of took me out was Organa. Besides the fact that I was like, I feel like I read this story, but it feels different.
right.
Organa's voice just threw me off because I don't think that was him.
Well, it's the same voice from animated shows. It's not the same actor, but
Yeah, I don't. For some reason, it just kind of just threw me off.
yeah, is it Smits is his last Jesse Smits?
I don't remember.
Smits is his last name, the actor. But it's the same voice from Clone Wars and from Rebels, so like I didn't really
Yeah.
bug me. But let's jump in scene by scene. And so yes, when we did the trailer breakdown, we talked about how we think Ahsoka was at Padme's funeral, and yep, that's what happened. And so it was just animated version of that funeral procession. Brady was upset that they didn't show the Gungans because they were there in the funeral with Boss Nass and Jar Jar were walking in procession. They didn't show that, so that was kind of sad. But yes, the crowd, everyone in the crowd is sad. We see close up shot of Padme, and
Dead.
and then we see Bail Organa and Mon Mothma standing next to each other at this funeral. And so, and then as Bail is standing there looking, he looks across, and we
Was
see
it Mon Mothma or no? Never mind.
what?
Nothing. Nothing.
So he's looking across and he has a brief glimpse of Ahsoka in the crowd, and he's like, "That's interesting." Like, and so then it goes to her walking down some hallway thing, like, and she has her big hood on, and he's like, "You shouldn't have come." And she turned around and took her hood down, and she was so sad. Like the animation expression that I don't know, was so sad. Like I've
So
never
good.
seen
It was so
Ahsoka
good.
sad like that. Like we see her sad in like season 5 when she leaves the order, and
Yeah.
other
Like they
seasons,
made
like
her eyes look so big. Like she looked like she
it
was
was
struggling.
she was very emotional, and she's like, I had to come because she was my friend. Like, so I wish we would have learned, because like we had this theory that she went to Padme for help by going to Naboo, and then when she arrived, there was a funeral. But it made it sound like she heard there
I
was a
think she
funeral.
knew.
So maybe it could have been still that happened. She went there for help, and then she heard the news and then went. So it could be the same, but they didn't show that
I think she found out.
beforehand
Yeah.
and went there for
It
the
was
funeral.
probably like all over the news.
It was probably all in the news because she probably
Like the whole Senate's there. You know what I mean?
Well, 2 people from Senate.
Well, that we know. There's
Wow.
probably more. We just
No one
can't
else
see
is
them.
gonna
Jar
care.
Jar's there. He's part of the Senate.
No one cares about her unless they knew her personally, which is Bail, Mon, Mothma, and Jar Jar. But because I'm trying to think, so her funeral, I wonder how long after Order 66 it happened, because they made it seem like it was like the next day.
I
But
think it was all a little bit. 'Cause you got to remember.
it could have been a couple days or something. But so if she went there for the purpose of the funeral, it was definitely, she was probably watching some HoloNet cast after Order 66, like when Rex and her left by themselves, and they just kind of learn about this.
You gotta also think Bale's not there with his wife because she's probably home with Leia.
Was the kid already?
Yeah.
So I wonder. Well,
so this would have been already.
But
after
I wonder when that
Obi-Wan
scene
left.
happened though. When he said he'd take the girl, I feel like that was after the funeral though. So I don't know. It could be. Yeah, in the movie, I thought that when Bale,
I don't remember.
When Bale meets with Yoda and Obi-Wan, they discussed this. I felt like this was after the funeral, but then Obi-Wan still had like the burn marks on his Jedi robes or attire. So maybe I don't know. But it would make sense if she's home with the kids, which is kind of funny. That
well, because dude, it's like literally like scene by scene with the funeral.
Yeah.
Vader says no. Palpatine's smiling. So Organa's like in the ship with Yoda and Obi-Wan talking about it. Yeah.
And that's after the funeral?
Before?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got that cleared up. So yes, so so anyway, Bale and Ahsoka are there in the hallway talking, and then some clone guards are coming, and so they quick leave and they go to like a little balcony thing, and he's like, you can, if you never need help, like to join a fight, like here's this comic, you can have a direct contact with me. And she's like, I'm done fighting. And then the guards come again, and she disappears when she turns around, which I was watching one reaction video and they're like, oh, she's like Batman. They just turn around and she's gone. But then later when Bale leaves and she jumps down with her cloak on, it looks like Batman jumping down with the cloak. So I thought that was kind of funny. I should have made that the thumbnail for this rather than what I put. But so
it's crazy watching like the funeral, like from the real episode or episode 3. It's like legit the same camera angle and the same people in the crowd.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
And so while Bale is there talking to the clone troopers, he's like, we have a duty, like to do our, like he's trying to make it sound like he's
telling Ahsoka.
Yeah, he's trying to make it sound like he's talking to the clones about doing duty and their job and stuff, but he's actually speaking to Ahsoka, who jumped up and she's listening. And then the clones are like, this is like, why is he talking like this? This is weird. Just like shrugged their shoulders. That was kind of funny.
Well, because he even says, if you ever need anything.
Yeah.
What did he say? If you ever need anything, please contact me.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what the why don't we contact you? Weird. This guy's a weird old guy talking to himself.
So so she leaves, and so her ship, the same ship that she escaped with Rex on, is down in the valley, like off the river, and Rex is there. So they're hiding down there, and they get up and go. But then it just picks up them at the village that she's at, some random village, like a farming village, and they're just harvesting wheat type stuff, and she's just working there, and a guy who we thought was her love interest, Lux Bonteri, I can't remember his last name, Lux, but it looks like a lot like him, so I thought it was him, but it's not. But they're loading hay bales on this droid cart, and he's putting too much on there, and it
falls over on his sister.
Yeah, and so she uses the Force to protect her. Because it's kind of cool how, if you watch it, like how you can see the bales of hay move in a certain way, like it's just like unnatural. So that was kind of cool. Like you could see
like shapes around her body.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that Bail Organa wanted her help, and she had to move some bales of hay to unlock her duty. It was the fall of the bales made her save someone's life, and so. Okay, enough with your crickets. but that happens, and the girl that she saves sees her reaching out. Which, first of all, that's a fell. People go to pick up the girl, like that was lucky, and her arm is still up for like 10 seconds while
For
they're
real.
talking. Like, come
She
on,
was like,
Ahsoka.
"Oh yeah, I can still do this."
And then when she looks up at Ahsoka, she pulls back and like, oh crap. But so then the next scene, everyone's eating, and I guess around with that camp, like a fire or something, like it was just boiling some stew or something. And like the sister sees Ahsoka by herself and says, "Hey, Ashla, come eat with us, please." Like, blah blah blah. And then the people in the group are talking about the Empire, like the brother. So I should say they don't have names in the credits. It's just village brother and village sister, I think it is. So
Yeah.
I was like, why don't you just give them names? Like,
What was their names in the book?
well, she had her her friend there. I can't.
Yeah,
like,
there was like another person involved in the book, and
yeah, there's the
but
female friend
I
that she
believe
made.
wasn't the brother the one that did turn them in? No, because they weren't brother and sister. It was like two sisters, right?
Maybe.
I don't know. I read the book
Yeah, I
twice.
think it was
I
two
think it was like
girls.
two girls, and then there was like a bratty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's right. Like the one sister was. I don't know if she turned him. I gotta.
Someone turned
refresh-
her in.
Yeah, I gotta refresh my memory on.
Well, I guess we gotta go listen to our
I
own.
gotta go listen to my own podcast. See what I said back then.
Chat.
But
What's up?
or I could just Wikipedia it, and
or you
but
could.
yeah. So they're just talking about the Empire, and so the brother is like he loves the Empire, like he's like people.
They're helping us.
They're helping us, but then like the older guy was like, no, they're not, and so it's just that whole thing. Like the debate, like the Empire has like they're seen as good to some people because like what's wrong? There's nothing wrong with order and rules, like blah blah blah, and like in general, like that. Yeah, that makes sense. Like when you don't have laws, people are gonna harm each other and steal and stuff. So if you have rules, like it keeps people in line when they're enforced, and like it makes sense. But then other people are like the Empire is extreme, like we see with Andor. Like people get punished for little things.
Yeah.
And they're oppressed and all that jazz. And so there's just that debate. But then the sister was like, I'm not worried because what she said something like something is keeping us like implying Ahsoka. I can't remember her exact words, but she's like, I don't worry because we have our protection here or something like that. And so the next scene is at night, and the sister goes and talks to Ahsoka and calls her Master Jedi. And Ahsoka is like, don't say anything, like, don't use those words, blah, blah, blah. And they're kind of like a tense situation. The sister's like, well, we got to go tomorrow and bring hay bales to the village to sell. And so, like, we'll do that in the morning. And so they're fine, whatever. They walk separate parts. But then the brother standing around the corner, classic brothers snooping on the sister, and here's the Jedi talk. I'm like, oh, dang it, this is bad. And so the next morning, Ahsoka and the sister leave, and the brother says, may the Force be with you. I'm like, oh, gosh. I'm like, it's about to go down. And so that night, they come back, and the entire village is on fire, and the brother's there with the old guy that was there that he was talking with about. And so the Inquisitor was like mad at the brother, like, you called and said there was a Jedi here, but there is no Jedi. Where is she? And he's like,
also the Inquisitor's outfit looks amazing. He looks so cool.
yeah, we'll get to his. Since you brought it up, we'll talk about him.
He's right there. What do you mean? He's already talking.
Well, I was trying to tell the story, and then, but so that was a costume. That wasn't like he's not an alien that looks like that. That's
no. That's like a face mask. That's like
but even.
Or not Snoke, it's like a Kylo mask kind of thing.
Well, it doesn't look like Kylo at all.
No, I'm just saying it's a mask.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's just but it's a costume because if you look at his hands, it's the same thing. Like they're like bone fingers. Like, he's dressed to intimidate because he probably knows that he's not that great of an inquisitor, so he has to like scare people with the way he looks.
Ooh, good point.
Because I think when spoiler
It's the
alert,
seventh sister.
spoiler alert, when he gets killed by Ahsoka, his mask comes off, and it deflates. It's like, okay, but also I think if you watch, like, the eyes were red, they turn off. So like the mask itself is like a mechanical mask to like look a certain way and intimidate, and then so when you do that to like overemphasize like your power and like make people more scared of you than you really are. So because I think that's what the Inquisitor was in the book, where he was just like a really unskilled, flimsy, like, person that didn't know what he was doing. And it's kind of like that same thing with this one, where like he seemed more like skilled, but he was arrogant and less trained and whatnot. But so anyway, the Inquisitor is arguing with the brother, and the brother's pleading like, she's gonna be here, and they're arguing. Then Ahsoka arrives and is like, he didn't lie, and he turns around like, who might you be, type of thing. And so then he's like, see, look, they're back, and he's like, okay, then I'm gonna give you your reward. And he's about to kill the brother, and Ahsoka pulls him away, and the Inquisitor was like, this can't be. Could it really be you, Ahsoka Tano? Like, oh dang, knows her by name. So it's interesting, like, how that is. 'Cause I can't remember if in the book the Inquisitor knew that it was Ahsoka. I don't think he did, but here the Inquisitor knew who it was.
I don't remember, but I mean,
Um,
everyone's looking for Ahsoka at this point, right?
Well, no, because
No, because she's supposed to be dead.
yeah, no one's looking for her. Yeah, because he even says you're supposed to be dead. So they know about the
Maybe
Jedi
it's the one
cruiser
that she was
crash.
training with.
No, they're all dead. No one survived that except for her and Rex.
Well, and what's her name? No, I'm saying, like, what is she? Maybe that's a Jedi, a fallen Jedi that.
Are you saying the Inquisitor was a
The
Jedi?
Inquisitor.
Well, that's at that point. I think they were all fallen Jedi at that point, just because it was so early. Like, you couldn't find someone who wasn't a Jedi and train them in time. So, all right, we got disconnected from our recording, so we're just gonna pick up where we think we left off. So the Inquisitor is there, knows of Ahsoka, blah blah blah. So he goes after, like, starts walking towards Ahsoka, and she's just standing there. She had made a fist, and then she opened her fist. So like it was, she was tense, and then she relaxed herself to like face that scene. That's how I kind of interpret it, because she needs to calm, rely on the Force. She can't just react on emotion, and so
My complaint too is this scene was so fast.
I think that's what I liked that it was.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't think it was.
It kind of did feel like the Maul and Kenobi fight, like the final one, like
Right.
4 swings and got caught. And
but what I liked about this was she does the same thing to the female Inquisitor in Rebels, where she turns off the saber and takes it from her.
yeah,
So I really like that. So and that's like one of the flaws of the Inquisitor's saber, is that you can just grab the middle or do things with like the way Kanan beat the Grand Inquisitor was by putting saber blades in the middle and just breaking it. And then Ahsoka does this thing where she's able to
just catch
it,
because it's
like
so big, bulky.
So it's like, I wonder, does she? I don't think she pushes the on-off button on these things. I think she's able to.
No, she pushed it off.
I don't know.
In her hand motion, looked like she turned it off. I'm
Oh yeah, but
watching
you
it
don't
right
know
now.
where the button is.
She might.
I don't know. I think it's implied that she can use the Force to turn off a saber, like when she's touching the hilt. I think, and you know, maybe there's an internal button that you have to use the Force to turn it on, and by touching it, you can like
I
feel where
wonder
that.
if the kyber crystal knows it's with the wrong owner.
I don't know,
Oh.
but I really like how he takes a few swings at her. She dodges. She grabs it, turns it off, rips it off his hand, turns it on, and one swipe across his body.
Cut his
Which
head off.
I didn't cut the head off. I think it was just down the face and into the chest, probably. And it was really quick. And then it's just her standing there with the flames behind her theme going, her with like a strong look on her face. And I was like, oh, this is like one of the most like intense moments that we see in Ahsoka in. Just the expression, the music, the setting. I thought it was really great. Like because it was funny because we talked about this story was retconned.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought that this took place after the Ahsoka novel.
So did I.
So I thought she would have had a saber on her that she was going to pull out. Like a janky one that was like all you random parts like she had from the. So like, I thought that's what was going to happen, and then I was like, that doesn't make sense. And then
I thought it was before she went to that other planet, or I don't know.
Yeah, because I remember in the book, she never knew, she didn't know of Inquisitors before she encountered this one, or the first one that she. So that was like, so I'm assuming that this is the first time she's ever seen an Inquisitor or heard of them or anything like that. So she didn't know what to expect. But we forgot to mention that his cloak had like the Imperial cog on it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I loved his cloak.
That's gonna be a cool cosplay for people to do.
That's gonna be a cloak that I would buy that cloak. That looks so cool.
Yeah, so definitely cool. And then it goes to the brother and sister with the old guy, and the sister's like, "Look what you've done! Look what! Oh, what do you think? Stop shaming the brother. Like he knows how terrible he screwed up.
Yeah,
but it was just her pleading, like, "Look what you do! Like, look what happened! Like, where are we gonna go?" Type of thing.
Yeah.
And Ahsoka, they go to Ahsoka, like, "What are we gonna do? Like, we have." And she's like, "You have to leave," or something like that. And
she doesn't say anything. She just looks down.
I thought she says,
"No,
you have to leave," or something like that. Like they'll be coming or something.
Oh, she just said more will come. Oh yeah, you're right. We're gonna have to leave here.
Yeah. And so the next scene then is the next morning, seemingly, and Bail arrives in the Tantum. Is it 4 or 5? I can never remember.
Tantum 4.
4. Yep. So he arrives, comes down. The 3 of them of the family, they get on the ship, and then Bail is like, "So are you ready to join this fight?" or whatever.
Because she gives back her thing.
The comm. And then she just ponders for a second, and then like the music comes in, and then she nods her head, and that's it. I'm like, oh man, that's so cool. So I really liked it. I know a lot of people were hating on it, but
I liked it.
Like, because the story is the same story as the book, it works. I'm fine with it. I can still kind of blend them together, like,
yeah,
it's the same thing, but it's whatever. And so it is what it is. I don't mind it. I don't think people should hate it as much as it is. But yeah, so I don't know like how much more animated Ahsoka we're gonna get though, because I don't think they're gonna do another Ahsoka with.
Unless it's like in between the Rebel stuff, that would be cool.
Yeah, I like the only way we would see her would be in Bad Batch, but like, I don't think they would do that, because if this episode was supposed to take place a year after the fall of the Jedi, just like the book did, like maybe it's kind of hard to say like how far
I guess
Bad
it
Batch
depends
went.
on how far Bad Batch is going. Yeah.
Like, but I don't even know how far like the first season is. That supposed to be like 6 months? Is that supposed to be a year? Like, it's hard to say because there was
Star Wars is notoriously bad at telling timelines because I think they want to leave it open.
because like in Bad Batch there was like an episode where we know that they went on a ton of missions for what's her face Sid.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we don't know if that was just like
Yeah, it
2
kept
months
going
or
and
if that was
going.
6 months or a year. So it's hard to say.
But we do
So-
know in this newest season of Bad Batch that's coming up, they had to switch their paint jobs. Like
Yeah.
they changed their outfits.
So if we see Ahsoka in or in cartoon form again, animated form, I think it would probably be in Bad Batch.
Yeah.
It maybe be like at the end of Bad Batch or something, or
Maybe in
third
a
season.
Tales of the Jedi, but like as a side character walking around or something.
Maybe, I don't know. Like, it's hard to say. Like, I will always accept more Ahsoka, and we'll be getting that with the Ahsoka series live action. But
Yeah.
I just like animated stuff more than live action. So, because you can just do more, I think, visually.
Yeah.
But and we all know Ashley Eckstein will be more than
Yes.
willing to do anything.
Yeah. For sure.
So I look forward to them doing more stuff like this with other characters. We'll talk more about this when we do the Dooku discussion, but I think it's cool seeing multiple stories about characters and wondering like what other characters could they do. If it's Tales of the Jedi, they're only going to be doing Jedi stories, which is cool. Unless like season 2 is like Tales of the Sith and we see Sith stories, like
That'd
a
be
Maul
cool.
origin story. Like that
I
would be cool.
would so be down for that.
So it'll be cool. And so that's all we have tonight, because we only do voicemails once a week, and we did that last episode with Andor episode 8. So
Yep.
no voicemails tonight. But Drew, is there anything else you want to discuss about
Nope.
these 3 episodes or
I'm
anything?
good. Just tune in next week for the Dooku stuff and Bad Batch episode 9 as well.
No, Andor episode 9.
Or Andor, yes. Not Bad Batch. Andor episode 9 as well. But with that too, make sure you guys go to the YouTube, watch the podcast visually if you want to see us visually. If you're just listening, also you can find the watch parties for all of these on our YouTube as well.
Yeah. And if this is the first video you're watching of us, I need a haircut, so don't think that I look like a scrub like this all the time. So, but yeah, so let's go over some socials and we'll get out of here. So, if you want to get connected with us, there's a link in the description, links.co/Empire Radio. That's a landing page for everything: Facebook, Instagram, Discord invite. Join the Discord. There is our fan email if you ever want to reach out to us for any reason. You do that. There's a link for the VCU Illustration Project, which we already discussed tonight. Click that. There's for our Twitch account, our YouTube account, and the needlesslynerdy.com podcast network, which we are a part of. And it's more people are joining, and it's kind of funny. It's like at this point, it's like all people from Empire Radio fandom. Brady, Cal, and I think there's other people on the prospects of like that we don't know yet, but
Yep.
It's really fun. They're doing collabs and stuff. We collabed with Brady a few weeks ago with Andor, so definitely check out those through the needlesslynerdy.com podcast network. I think that's everything in that landing page. So anything else, Drew?
No, that should be it.
All right, cool. Well, you've been listening to another Ahsoka-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.